Pretty cool.
Good stuff.
How romantic.
All right, let's kick this fucker going.
Yeah.
Bring it. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Fucking cup.
That is a big-ass In-N-Out cup.
It is. It's bigger than a shark.
Almost.
Welcome to the 220th episode of the Angry Cuddles podcast. My name is Steven. Today's episode is brought to you by Applebee's. Applebee's, it's supposed to taste that way. Joining me today, Chuck.
Chuck, what is the screaming?
I'm a heavy metal man now.
Pikachu, stop it.
Okay.
You're a DJ.
Will Roth.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, guys. Will Roth here, brought to you by Jimmy John's. Fuck you.
Fuck Jimmy John's.
We hope you didn't want your chips.
No.
Shark.
Hello.
And at the very end, joining us today is our guest, author Robert Fox. We will refer to him as Fox for the rest of the game.
Never give up. Trust your instincts.
I like how you said the rest of the game.
I did say game,
good.
yeah.
That was a good touch.
Fox, you've written a thing.
Yes, I have.
Tell me the thing you wrote
It's
about it.
It's a book. It's called Dead Come Home.
It's available on Amazon.
It is available on Amazon. It's also available on Kindle and...
Google.
No, actually. It's
No Google
available
Play.
Get in there.
through,
Get in on that mic.
On that mic, yeah.
Fox?
Right up on that mic.
Right up on the
really.
mic.
Yeah.
There we go.
you
A
go.
little bit better.
Lick it.
Like you're about to kiss it. Like you're about
No,
to make sweet
it's also
dreams
available
about it.
through Nook and Barnes & Noble. So
Fantastic.
It's kind of available all over the place.
Self-published then.
Through CreateSpace.
Okay, cool.
What's it called one more time?
Batman. CreateSpace. It's
No, the
subsidy-
book?
Oh, it's Dead Come Home.
Dead Come Home.
And it's about what?
It's obviously about zombies. It follows the misadventures of two young men, one former Marine, one business intern who kind of got lost in the middle of the zombie apocalypse. And about halfway through, you end up picking up a third character. It flips between their perspectives and some side events and just kind of goes through the opening days of the zombie apocalypse.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Now, Fox, let me ask you a question. Is Dead Come Home, is that a little, do you have a kind of a different origin story for the zombies, or is, I don't want you to give anything away, but
Actually, we the co-author and I, who helped me write that book, we actually did have an origin story for the virus that does not actually get mentioned at all in book one.
Okay, so you don't deal with it at all.
Yeah, not in book one.
Okay.
I've already written the sequel, and some of it starts coming up, and by book 3 is where we're actually going to find out a little bit more about what
it
actually
was.
happened.
Awesome.
nice.
And
Well, excellent. What was the you wrote it with somebody?
Yes.
What was it like? Because we have a graphic novel that we did, but I did the writing and I had an illustrator, and he had like input and stuff on stories and everything. But what is it like co-writing a novel? Do you
It
have
is-
like
Do you
specific
trade
jobs? Like
pages?
It is both exhilarating and frustrating as
Yeah.
fuck.
No, he has to say it this way. That's the only way that this line works.
Yeah, do you ever
So-
get into arguments like that? Like,
Actually, we did. And the funny part was, wasn't even the big stuff that we argued about, like major plot points and emotional stability of the characters. No, all of that stuff we were, oh, okay, cool, that works. No, it was like, no, this one word in this one sentence, you can't do that. Yeah,
Well,
no, I'm not going to let that happen.
That's even harder considering the fact that you have a degree.
So did he. No, so does he. He's also an English major. So you had two English majors both writing this book. And basically the original division of labor was he would handle one main character's point of view and I'd handle the other. And that ended up working out very well. I ended up having to pick up his character for one particular scene that he absolutely could not write at all. There was just no way he was going to be able to write that scene and make it work. And so I took over that. And he ended up writing one of my character's scenes just because I wasn't available to write and he needed to get it done. But for the most part, he took his character, I took my character, and then we kind of edited the two pieces together later.
So that's something that always intrigues me is when people have clearly defined roles, things when you're working in groups. Everybody has input on a bunch of different things, and Will, I'm sure you know, like with the band, like I'm sure Yuri has been like, Will, this specific lyric is kind of fucking lame.
yeah, no, never, because none of my shit's lame. No, that does definitely happen. It's what happens is like you'll write something and then you'll bring it to the group, and then they'll, obviously all their music input is their own thing, and that's why I have them in the bands, because I love their musical input, and what they want to bring to the table. But mostly it's if they do something that like somebody else didn't agree with, like it's either offer up a suggestion
Sure.
or shut the fuck up about it.
Well, but
You know
but
what I
even
mean?
but even then, like, you know, and when I work with Joseph on the webcomic and stuff, people have clearly defined roles. There's obviously the input thing, but
Right.
co-authoring where you're both doing the same role.
Yeah.
And I like how you split it up with the characters. Like, I imagine that made it a little bit easier.
It really did, except for the parts where we had to cross over. That's where it got a little bit interesting,
we're
because I
getting
then
spiky.
had to turn
Don't
around
cross
and
the streams.
and say, okay, so here's what I've written, but it's supposed to be your character, your point of view, so how do I fix it to make it sound more like you?
Right. So, Will, I wanted to ask you real quick. When I was in a ska band,
Oh, yeah.
they didn't even know what the lyrics were until we went to the studio.
Oh.
So, like, they played their music, I wrote lyrics to their music, and we just played those shows, and it just didn't even really occur to them to ask about it until, like, we got into the studio
Right.
to do the EP. So, did you, like, run your lyrics by them?
Oh, well, see, Noah and Uriel, they're, they do harmonies for everything. So it's in their best
so they
interest
need
to
to
know
know
the
what they're
lyrics.
saying.
And so, and a lot of times we'll be at practice, and then Noah will ask, like, what did you mean when you said that line or whatever? And then I'll explain it to him, and then they can kind of catch on to that, and it means that much more to them to sing those lyrics if they really feel it too.
Like, breathing underwater is about the potion that allows you to breathe underwater in
underwater
Elder Scrolls
in
Online.
I thought it was a ring.
Is it a ring?
I made a
There is
ring.
an underwater breathing ring, yeah.
Yeah,
but
there is.
There's
there are
underwater
potions.
breathing anything.
Yeah, there really is. Yeah.
So when you guys ran, did you have to bounce stuff off of each other to come to some
Constantly.
constantly, all the time?
Constantly. We'd get together and we'd spend half of Friday night doing cheap pizza and nothing but writing.
How long did it take from we're going to write this to we're submitting it?
A year.
That's pretty good.
Did it ever feel like the writer's equivalent of 12 Angry Men? We are not leaving this room until we have something down for chapter 13.
Yes. Actually, there was at least a couple of instances where he wanted to sit there, and we were both getting well into our tequila at that point. And,
Yeah.
We'd sit down with a 750 of tequila and a chapter, and it's like, okay, this is what we're doing for Friday night. And there were points where we'd start getting drunk, and we'd decide we were going to go, wanting to play this other video game or something, and we're like,
Right.
I'd have to like corral him, and I'm like, no,
Listen.
until we come up with something. That's
That's sort of the way
we're
we
doing
handle
this.
the 5-year-old is like, no,
roll
that
up
donut
shape.
is after the food.
Yeah.
You eat the food and then you can donut.
And that's the thing. The writing process is so different for everybody. Like, there's no two people that like write the same way.
Well, everybody here has written something and had it published in some form or capacity. And Chuck, maybe a little bit less officially, but you still take place in the short story month or the flash fiction month. And so you have a bunch of stuff. And actually, I was thinking about including one of those when we do our giveaway in November as part of everybody's thing. You had one the short story that you wrote about a blues musician.
Chuck's like, I'm not giving away anything.
No. That was the story that somebody else wrote about a blues musician, and I decided to take that story from a different angle,
Oh, no,
and
no,
I
okay.
really fucked it up.
What was you had one though? Was it someone walking through an abandoned suburbia?
If you're talking Cult of the Gray Zone,
Maybe that's it.
it's a couple of people that get lost trying to drive around suburbia, and they stop and ask for directions, and the dude all of a sudden starts like drawing them into this entirely bland world full of Olive Garden and Kinkos
Right,
and shit
that's
like
what it
that. Yeah.
Zufo!
Zufo!
What's up?
¿Qué
Welcome
onda,
back.
güey?
We got Game Guy, we got Zufo. We're only missing Sauce Boss. He needs to get his ass in here.
You know who I miss? I miss Noname.
Naname.
Aw.
It's been a while, Naname. Where are you? Okay, so now let's get into the meat of the zombie meat,
Speaking of
human meat, of
Long pork.
long pig.
Long pig.
Long pork.
Before we get to the games part, what's your favorite zombie thing? And it can be a game, but we'll focus on games and stuff a little bit closer. But just you're gonna watch or listen or whatever to zombie related media. What's your favorite thing?
Oh shit.
That's a hard
Is
question.
anybody here a Walking Dead fan at this point? Anyone?
I'm a season
I
behind.
used to like the comics,
Yeah.
but the way they started up seasons 1 and 2 just really drove me away from the show.
Really?
Yeah, the best thing I saw in Walking Dead, and I wish they'd have left the guy who did that in charge more often. The intro to season 3, they go the first 8 minutes with nobody saying a word.
Cool. I love shit like that.
Nobody says a word in the first 8 minutes. They killed like 9 zombies in this house and start raiding it. And then they sit down and they hear something coming up and they decide they got to abandon the house. And they do all of this without ever uttering a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when you first
And that
see
was fucking
Carl in his
Coral.
in his
Carl.
when he's wearing the hat and it's like torn a little bit. He's got his hair hanging down. He's got a silenced weapon.
Oh yeah,
that silencer
he's like a
never
little bit
would've
grown
worked.
up now.
Hell no.
Silencers don't actually silence.
No, Carl is an idiot. He's one of my least favorite characters, I think, in any universe ever. I fucking hate that kid.
Yeah, well, it's for good reason. Zufo says Resident Evil for him, straight up, and Zufo, that's mine. I'm Resident Evil like all the way. Which one did you play first? Because I actually played Resident Evil 2 first, and then went back to play the first one after that. And Zufo says, remember walking to Blockbuster back in like 1997 and renting it.
Yeah.
Game Guy says, I don't like PlayStation, so I didn't play Last of Us. You're missing out on The Last of Us. I don't recommend buying a PlayStation just for it, but I recommend borrowing a PlayStation.
I recommend
Zufo's
buying a
first Resident
PlayStation for it.
Evil. You do for Last of Us?
Yeah, it's
It's really not that hard to get a PlayStation now, especially with the PlayStation 4 out. You can just buy a used system.
Yeah.
PlayStation
Yeah.
3.
Fair.
Hell, I got 2. I'll let you borrow one. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, zombie stuff, guys. What's your favorite movie, story, comic, game,
I don't know.
DLC?
I'm probably going to have to go with George Romero's
Oh, the
Dawn.
the Dawn.
The original.
original
Dawn.
Dawn.
Okay.
Although props to remake Dawn.
No, remake
That's
Dawn was
Dawn was-
good.
yeah.
was good,
Classic
yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah.
Classic Dawn did something that I really love about the zombie genre. It used it to its fullest to make commentary.
Yep.
Yep.
Bingo. And then the first Dead Rising came out, and not only did they have to...
That would have been my guess for your favorite.
Well, I'm okay with the first one. I like the first one a lot. I like the second one more. The third one I couldn't really get into. I didn't play it that much because I don't have an Xbox One. I was playing it on yours. But
Right.
What little I could do, like, it lets you do too much all at once. You know what I mean? It's just there's a whole world open to you, and you just kind of do whatever you want to do. And like,
You felt like a directionless wanderer.
yeah. I feel the same way about Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. In fact,
Really?
yeah.
It's just
I'll
one
push
mission.
back on you about that.
Yeah,
but-
me
You,
too.
you
The
go
game
ahead,
State
but that's
of Decay
it's,
suffers from the same problem. Though.
Which one?
I agree.
State of Decay.
Okay,
I
yeah.
love
It is
State of
entire.
Decay.
I hate
It's a
State of
great
Decay.
game, and it's a great. It's well executed in its gameplay, but the story itself is so open and so loose that you really lose direction on it way too easily, way too quickly.
I thought it
And
was.
This pulls back to mention what we were talking about last week with achievements being part of what leads the plot line of the story and you functioning in the world for the
Yeah.
video game.
I thought the story in State of Decay gave you just enough direction. Like, it didn't tell you how it needed to do things. It just told you, hey, these are the things you need to do. Whereas with Dead Rising 3, it's like, you're close enough to these things, you might be able to interact with them, but they may not actually be what you want to do. We're going to make it look like that's what you want to do. So we're just going to
never
let your
ran into that
ADD
problem.
addled brain just get super distracted by every last fucking thing that's going on in the map.
I never
See,
had that.
and I had the same problem with State of Decay because there wasn't enough story to keep me moving in certain directions. I ended up running around like raiding everything I could find for food for my people so I could upgrade my base. And
Right.
then jumping ship and then figuring out, oh shit, that was probably a bad plan because now I have no idea where the fuck I am anymore and how do I get where I'm going. And
Or even worse, you relocate your home base and then you realize all the shit you need to keep your people alive is
back
on
at the
the
other base.
other side of the bridge.
yeah.
What about you, Will?
Whoopsie.
It would have to be Red Dead Redemption.
That's
Oh,
been
yes.
mentioned a few
Undead
times.
Undead Nightmare.
Is
See,
Undead
I
Nightmare being-
actually need to play that one.
Yo,
I haven't played that yet.
Fantastic.
In the music
So much fun.
episode, we mentioned that track when you get into Mexico.
Yeah, far away.
Yep. And now you bring up Undead Nightmare. How about that one?
It's all great. Everything about it
Yes,
is great.
buddy.
I haven't played it yet either, but I heard it's fantastic.
Wait, you haven't played it?
No, because when I finished Red Dead
Steven.
Redemption, I was done with Red Dead Redemption.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah,
No,
not
you're
yet.
Like
No, you're
emotionally,
fucking
I
not.
was like,
Dude, because let me tell you, it's not just it doesn't feel like just a DLC. It feels like a sequel to the game, and it's fun.
Wow.
Well,
Because
it feels like another. It doesn't really feel like a sequel. It just feels like another part of the story. Like it feels like the same characters, entirely different story. And what I liked about Undead Nightmare was that there were so many references, not just to the Red Dead Redemption world before Undead Nightmare came out, but also there were a lot of references to like Hammer horror movies. And like the whole opening sequence felt like I was expecting Christopher Lee to pop up at some point, and I'm like, shit, this is amazing.
Christopher Lee does the vampires.
Yeah, he does. But
And so Zufo brings up a good point. Are you guys zombied out?
kinda. I kind of am.
On some of it, yeah.
I'm not. I like zombie stuff, and when new zombie stuff comes out, I love it.
Some of it's been pretty good, some of the newer stuff, because they have to come up with more inventive things in order to get people's attention.
See, this is my chart for Walking Dead. I never read the comics, so I have no frame of reference. But I'm a media consumer, so
Okay.
the TV show, this is what it did. First season, loved it, 100%. Like it was very detailed.
Yeah.
The characters, all the little technical stuff they did, I thought it was fantastic. Season 2, I think Darabont leaves, or maybe AMC cut their budget. Whatever. They're at the farm the whole time.
Darabont left.
Loved season 2 because the whole thing is about the people. It's not about the zombies. It's
Right.
what do we do? What are the ethics and morals of us being able to survive in this new world? That whole season, fucking phenomenal. First half of season 3, still 100% in. Loved it. Excellent. Then, in between season 3A and 3B, they start marketing Rick versus the Governor, Sunday night at 9 p.m., you know?
Yeah.
And then they come back, and there's no Rick Governor thing at all for like 3 or 4 episodes, and it's just sort of wandering along this meandering bullshit path.
Yeah.
And then the episode they do meet, they sit
at a table, they have a couple of drinks, and they talk.
and that could have been really intense because
They
Kill Bill
smolder
2
at one another.
Kill Bill 2 ended a 2-movie action flick with a conversation. And that can be done really well. But it was like, I don't like you. Me neither. Let's fight. And then they run off again.
See, but that's the problem, though. It has to be done well.
Yeah. Well, with care, with thought. And it became thoughtless. And so by season 4, Walking Dead, I fucking didn't give a shit. And now I don't give any kind of a shit for Fear the Walking Dead. I haven't even tried
now,
it, though.
From what I hear, though, and I'm curious to at least watch a couple of episodes of it, from what I hear, they got rid of the crew that wrote The Walking Dead and brought in fresh writers, fresh perspective, has nothing to do with the comic books, has nothing to do with The Walking Dead, the
other
original,
characters?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with them. It's a completely independent story in a different portion of the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've actually seen a couple of
the new
episodes.
zombie writers have braids.
All right. How about the Telltale Walking Dead?
Oh, that's phenomenal. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I'm
was
glad
a really,
you said that.
really well fucking done thing.
I haven't even played season 2 yet because
Neither have I.
I
Neither.
had to lose my game for season 1, and then I just started all over again. It's like, okay, well, I'll play through the game again, and I have not finished it yet.
I just got to the end of season 1, and it's going to be free with Games of Gold, so I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. Some of you will be playing it for the first time. But I finished season 1 and was more depressed than I've ever been in my life.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, it'll do that.
It's
But it's
really
well
depressing.
done.
Oh, yeah,
You
it's
have to give it
wonderful.
credit.
But that's kind of the thing with zombie movies is a lot of them tend to be very bleak.
All right, well, let's try this. If we're going to go bleak, I'm going to throw you a curveball. Lollipop Chainsaw.
That's a good
Okay,
zombie game.
that is there is a difference with that
This
one.
is
That's a good
High
zombie game.
School of the Dead at San Romero High, no less, featuring a cheerleader armed with a long sword-length chainsaw,
and her boyfriend's head.
killing
Nick's head.
zombies by the score to Skrillex and Dragon Force and just all sorts of badass music. It's a really fun
And
game.
this is
That-
where
that
it
just
has
sounds like
the
a
not
headache.
all
you
hashtag.
need to play this shit.
It's
I need to
it's
play
funny.
that.
It's funny. Will.
as balls.
It sounds like a headache.
This is from the same guy that did Killer 7, so take that into account.
Also, it was directed by the director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Okay, well, that
Okay, well,
gives
I
it
will
points
probably
right
like
there.
it.
Yep.
See, I think what I'm waiting
Game
for.
guy says, "Chuck, get out."
No,
Yeah,
fuck you.
thank
You
you.
get out, game
Thank
guy.
you,
No,
game
no,
guy.
no, don't get out. Don't get out.
Thank you.
Ignore
Thank
that.
you, game guy. I think what I've been waiting for, and I mentioned it a few episodes ago when we were talking about our fantasy games.
Yeah.
Right. Was an open world post-apocalyptic, zombie-infested world, kind of MMO, maybe not, maybe 5 players, but you can all play together.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. My style of zombie media is more slow pace.
Oh,
They've
actually just got a couple of those come out.
Yeah, we've got things like DayZ, standalone, and H1Z1.
H1Z1, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about those coming to console. Like Xbox One, I think is gonna get a standalone DayZ.
So you just sparked like an idea in my
Yeah.
head that I think would be a phenomenal game idea.
Yeah.
So. And maybe this doesn't really work, but I think that the concept is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it operates much in the way that an MMO does, except like you said, I think maybe 10 people, you limit it. And those 10 people, you create a world and you, let's say, so me and Chuck and Will and John and Game Guy and Zufo are all going to play this game together.
Right.
Hi,
That game
Dragonfly.
is a constantly moving game, kind of like an MMO, and
Yeah.
people get on and off at different times and can do stuff and change the world, but can also group together and do things, but you are the only players in that world.
Exactly.
That ever-evolving world. And
Yeah.
maybe that wouldn't work because there'd be a server for 10 people or something.
Right.
No, you just have
But-
to stack,
Yeah.
1,000 games to a server, which it could handle if it's configured correctly.
Yeah.
Well,
But
just-
I think
just-
that'd be cool though. Is an MMO where the only people you run into are people you know?
Exactly. Well, imagine this. It's
So Minecraft.
It's it's Minecraft
I guess that, yeah.
on a very realistic and obviously graphic
Yeah.
overhaul scale, but with those same building capabilities to build shelters and things like that, and to grow food and to filter water, do all these kind of things that you have to do. All these things that State of Decay, mind you, promised
when
I was
lied.
reading about them, 4 years ago, obsessively, and then they just gave us State of Decay, which was a
I think
complete
One of the
opposite direction of what they told us they were going to give us.
issues you might run into that with, though, is a lot of people are not going to care for it for the grind. They're going to want to kill all the monsters.
Yeah, but those people will end up dead. And you know what? A good thing that a lot of game developers are jumping on right now is permadeath. I've seen maybe 3 games coming out in the last year that have talked about permadeath.
Okay,
and that's deletion of your character when you die.
Have you ever heard of a game called Steel Battalion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a game called Steel Battalion for the original Xbox, and it was like a 128 button controller because it was 3 control panels and 2 joysticks,
Yeah, I
and then
remember that.
foot pedals.
Yeah.
And what you did was you had your pilot was your save game,
Yeah.
and you had mechs, and you would go through the startup sequences, and you'd have to use the windshield wipers and all that kind of shit when you're playing the game. If your mech went into critical, you had to eject, flip up a thing and hit the eject button. If you didn't, your pilot died and your data was erased.
Oh shit.
Then
It's fantastic.
if you
Wow.
eject from your mech, you have to buy a new one, and you only have a certain number of limited funds. So if you're not good at that game, and we weren't, you would play the first level and beat it, and then the second level you die a few times, and then the game was over. Or you'd lose a couple mechs and the game was over. So that's
kind of
permadeath.
lame.
It was not balanced very well. But
No.
something that's not explicitly zombies, but sort of in that it's zombie-esque.
Mhm.
Did you ever see the Thomas Jane flick The Mist?
Yes, yeah.
Fucking phenomenal ass
Blow
film.
my goddamn
Yeah.
brains out after that movie. It's like, oh,
That
Jesus.
ending, holy shit. Holy shit. So that's done.
I like Thomas Jane. I hear he's got a huge dick.
They made a show about it.
Oh, Hung, yeah.
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 They starred Big Dick Jane in it.
Big Dick Jane.
Let's see.
Well,
Okay, I
Quick
got a
point
question
on
for you.
your previous question about
Yeah.
the saturation.
Yes.
My take on the saturation thing is you've got everybody using the monster the same way, and no one going back and reaching back to what you did in Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead, even,
Which was a
The
reflection
commentary,
of society.
the
and-
reflections
yeah.
taking place. If you don't have something to focus it back on the people that are part of the story, you're going to end up with derivative crap that's going to suck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're going to burn out everybody overall. You've got to find those things that are keeping it fresh and clean.
I mean, even Zombieland did that because at that point it felt like Lethal Weapon, but with zombies. Because
Well,
the
Zombieland
zombies were
was
just
a
a thing that you were supposed to kill.
But Zombieland was a reflection of zombie movies, though.
right.
Yeah.
But
it'll-
in turn, I think Zombieland was one of the just best fucking zombie
Oh,
movies
I'll
I've
watch
ever
that movie
watched. I thought
3
it
times
was
a
so
week. It's good.
fantastic.
And amusingly, even though it
Yeah.
was a reflection of zombie movies, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it was also just as much as Dawn was. It was still a commentary on the society, and it kept everything focused on those 4 people
Yeah.
exclusively.
And Woody Harrelson was just so cool.
Fuck yes, it was.
Okay, all right. I got a question for you guys. Also, you out there in the comments section, best use of zombies that you weren't actually expecting. And I'm not talking like this is a zombie movie. This is gonna suck. Oh, this is actually pretty good. No. I'm talking like this is not supposed to be a zombie movie. This is not supposed to be a zombie game, and yet this is the best use of zombies I've ever seen.
Oh, I've got one. I'd say when the lead characters were trapped in a corridor, and then a big giant zombie came and was like, "Rah," and then like all these little zombies came out and started attacking the big zombie, and you're like, how is that possible? They don't think like that. No, that's Jurassic Park. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry. Dude.
Zupo says I Am Legend was surprising.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I would only agree if we're talking about the book. Because the movie jacked it up in so many ways it's not even funny.
What about the Omega Man? Let's replace Will Smith with Charlton Heston.
Okay, now if we're going with Omega Man, different story because they kept truer to the original script.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your weapon of choice you're in a zombie apocalypse? What's your zombie apocalypse action figure of you? You get two accessories that comes in your action figure. What is it?
Oh my God, man.
I don't mind.
It's a beautiful
do you
question.
want me to
Please,
Go for it.
Take it.
All right,
Take
so mostly
He's
because
so excited about this.
Hey, you know what?
Don't ask me the question.
No,
Ask me
no,
the
no,
question.
no.
Ask me the question.
So, the AR-15 because I've received the training on it. I'm deadly accurate with it. You give me an M16 with a CCO and 210 rounds, and you're gonna have 210 dead bodies.
Okay.
Sweet.
I've seen him on the range.
And the other one is of course my zombie axe handle. So,
Okay.
What you do is you take an axe handle, you soak it in tongue oil for about a week, and forget that it exists. And you go back and there's no tongue oil left in the barrel because it's all now in the wood.
In the wood.
And you leave it outside in North Texas in the summer
Sure.
for a week, and forget that it exists, and come back and now the thing is as hard as a rock.
Okay.
And you nearly burn out a belt sander smoothing it out. Wrap that with athletic tape. Spray
Okay.
it with a stiffening agent, and when you get to the head, you actually take furniture tacks and push them into the blade edges. Wrap it, harden it, and then put your hand grip down at the bottom, and that will actually cleave a coconut.
Excellent.
Not crush it,
Right.
cleave it.
So
as in cut.
so a zombie's head is
Toast.
yeah.
Yeah, I could. Coconuts are a good test for that, and you will destroy absolutely. And I love that weapon.
What about you, Shark?
I would probably go with something because you're in a post-apocalyptic situation, so you're going to want something that you may not always find ammo. So probably a crossbow or a bow of some kind,
Okay.
so
yeah.
that you can make your own
fashion
ammo.
Yeah.
And then something heavy that I can swing. Probably more of like a axe, like what Chuck has right now, or a baseball bat with nails.
Okay. Yeah.
Nail bat.
You just got to watch
Gonna
out. They
hit
get
me in
stuck.
the head.
Yeah,
I know
that's
for a
the
fact
problem.
that's gonna hit me in the head.
Yeah.
Don't hit him in the head. You'll break the headphones. Those are expensive.
Yeah.
Those are expensive.
I would definitely say definitely a bow, just because I'm really fucking good with a bow.
He's our
and
ranger.
I fletch my own arrows
Can I
too.
tell you a bow and arrow story real quick?
Yeah, please.
We went to Scarborough Fair once, and they have little archery ranges and stuff up there. And so my friends were going up and doing the archery stuff, and I don't archery at all. I know roughly how to do it,
I don't
but
archer.
I am good at being an asshole. So I was like, "Fucking sucks, fucking blows," like sandwich shooting, like, "Well, fuck that up, man, screwed that up." And like Amanda goes up, I'm like, "Yep, nice try, fantastic." And so they went, "Fine, you do it." Now, great. And so I grabbed one and I just turned and I didn't look and I fired it and it went directly into the bullseye. And so I dropped the bow and turned around. I was like, "I'm never ever firing a bow again," because I did the only thing that I had to do that day,
Bow drop.
which was luck the fuck out.
Yeah. But see, on top of my bow, I would also have as a melee is definitely a blunt object, because To me, if you're in a zombie apocalyptic situation and you've got these things that don't feel pain, right? One of the biggest, I think, draws to having a blade and kind of a human-on-human conflict is like nobody wants to get fucking cut. Nobody. That shit hurts. That hurts really bad. Zombies don't care. If you slash a zombie across the chest, he's not going to stop coming at you. You slash a human across the chest, they'll probably be like, fuck,
Ow.
and back up,
Damn.
at least for the moment,
Yeah.
Before you can think about what to do next. But a zombie, you slash him across the chest, he's going to still come in at you, and I feel like...
You need something with force.
Yeah,
you need something
you
with
do.
pushback.
Game guy says a cold steel baseball bat would be nice.
Cold Steel makes
Cold
some
Steel.
good shit.
They do. I actually have a cold steel sword, and it cuts paint cans in half. It's fantastic.
I'd use a katana, and because not because I'm very good with it or because I think it's the most effective, but because it looks the coolest. And when I die, I want people to look at my corpse and go, "Man, that guy's fucking cool."
I want my cold steel blade and then just a revolver on one hip.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. Revolver. That's all I
The
want.
only thing I have against baseball bats in these kind of situations is that baseball bats are not intended to hit people with, and they will break very quickly.
Yeah, well, something sturdier than a baseball bat, obviously.
I want
but some sort of
an
striking.
aluminum baseball bat.
No, actually,
It'll
aluminum's
bend.
worse than wood.
Yeah.
They bend very, very quickly.
Well, then I will bend that shit
Back.
over a zombie's
I will
head.
bend it
I will
back.
bend it
I
back.
will
Yes,
beat
but bending-
somebody with one
bending
side
it
until
over
it
their
bends,
head
Yeah.
and then
does
turn
not
around
stop
and
them.
bend it back.
Uh,
I will hit people in the fucking head with that thing until it breaks in half, and then I'll use the sharp points to do more headshots.
That's true.
So somebody who's played, has anybody played the zombie mode in Call of Duty at all?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, tell me about it. Game guy, tell us. Did you like it? What's it do? Is it horde mode with
Yes.
zombies with the Call of Duty mechanic?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
It starts out slow and it gets progressively worse, and the zombies take progressively more to
And
kill, and
there's
you
no
have
end to the-
progressively less ammo available.
there's no finish right to it. It just
Eventually,
you go
it just
until
gets
you die.
to it gets to the point where it's too much for you to keep up
Oh,
with.
so
no matter what
it's
you do.
Nintendo hard.
It's Nintendo hard.
Okay. Game guy says World at War had the best one. Agreed. Do you guys play enough of it to be able to agree with that?
I didn't play World
I
of War.
I was more of a fan of the one in Modern Warfare.
You were.
Yeah.
It was something different about
Or
the
no,
mechanic, or
hang on, wait, which one had the Nazi zombie? Was that World at War?
That was no, I played that one. That one was I thought that one was COD4.
I think they just kind of made it a thing after a while. But
I got it, Steve-O.
Oh, thanks, sure.
Whichever the first one was, that was my favorite, and I've played it on both World at War and I believe Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2 had it.
By the way, we've never received a bot in our chat before, and we've had 2 today.
That's interesting.
People are paying
Never.
attention now. How
Never.
about that?
I think that means we're doing
Okay.
well, right? We're moving up.
Right.
Yay!
That's what
So
that
so
means.
apparently it was World at War that I was thinking.
It was World at War that you were thinking of? Okay.
I
So,
didn't like those.
did you guys play Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, I love Left 4 Dead.
Really?
You loved it?
That game's actually a lot of fun.
Who do you use? Who's your character?
In 1 or 2.
Let's do 2 because I'm always Ellis.
What's the difference?
You get different characters.
You
no,
get
I mean,
different
no, I
characters.
know that they're like skinned differently.
No, I mean literally that's the biggest difference. They're skinned
Okay.
differently, and you get 4 new specials.
Okay.
In the first game, I always played Bill, and in the second game, I usually end up as either Ellis or Nick.
Pill's here.
Bill's here.
I got pills here.
So my girlfriend one of my ex-girlfriends went to OU, and their thing is Boomer Sooner.
Oh God.
And you know that's the thing that they yell is Boomer
no,
Sooner.
no,
so
no.
so when we were playing Left 4 Dead, anytime someone would go Boomer, I'd go Sooner, just out of like just fucking reactionary habit.
You didn't even go to OU,
No,
and
I
you
didn't.
still
God.
do
It's
that
It's just
shit.
I was inundated with it for quite some time. So, but Dead Island. And here's the thing: I liked Left 4 Dead fine. It should have been a 1999 mod or something at launch. Charging $50 for whatever full price for that game, I thought was a fucking travesty. Left 4 Dead 2, I can give a little more love to. Dead Island, I thought would have been good if I weren't already sick of it when I started playing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does, and my biggest problem with Dead Island was actually I couldn't figure out where the fuck I was going. I got bored.
Yeah.
There was no map, there was no radar, there was no here's how you need to go to where you're getting, and I just got bored and put it down and never went back.
I kind of like that, actually, was the whole, we're going to tell you what to do, we're going to tell you where to go, we're going to tell you, all the things you might run into, but we'll just give you directions.
Kind of disorients you. I dig
yeah,
that.
except for the fact that their directions weren't, okay, go up to this road and turn right, and you can actually, like, read the street signs. It was just like, and it's at the top of one of the mountains, of which there are 3. And I'm like, what the fuck?
More Pacific Islander accent, please.
I don't know how to do that one. I'm sorry.
Well, see, that to me, like, that draws me in, I think, more to a game that is, about that, in that genre, that zombie genre. Because there's nothing, to me, more disorienting than pulling the rug completely out from under you. And to say that, I mean, to be in that kind of situation and, like, not have a map, not have anything on you, and just rely on your gut feeling, like, I like that so much more. And I wish that more games would kind of drop you on your head like that more often.
So, like, and we mentioned this when we were a little bit when we were talking about inventory systems. Is Resident Evil had arguably spawned a genre video game.
Yeah.
And part of it was it's called survival horror and not just horror because you're scrounging for shit. You can only carry so much. You the controls are not great kind of on purpose because you're kind of a clumsy person,
Well, I think whenever they're re-releasing a update
Is
for
Leon
it, they're
clumsy?
going to
No.
update the controls.
Leon's a fucking free runner, man.
What'd you say, Shark?
Aren't they preparing to re-release?
They're remaking Resident Evil 2, and they re-released the Resident Evil remake, and they didn't really change much with it. They updated a few things, but they kept the controls, and I think you could actually switch the controls if you wanted to, but by default they were retro. But that was sort of what those tank controls made it tense, because if you come into a hallway rather, and there's 2 zombies in it, in Left 4 Dead you don't give a shit. But in Resident Evil, 2 zombies is a goddamn crisis.
Well, consider the way they basically package Left 4 Dead. When you go in, you pick your missions, but instead of, like, choose your mission, you have movie posters. They already know that you're going into this thing literally guns blazing.
Yeah.
Like, what was the House of the Dead? House of the Dead
House
Overkill?
of the Dead was one of the first arcade
yeah.
games that you basically spent the entire time just shooting up zombies.
Yeah, and then they took that and they just ran with it with Overkill, where they presented the whole thing like a 70s grindhouse movie. I mean,
Hey,
it looked like Planet Terror.
Creeper Killers, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to
Hello,
the broadcast.
Creeper Killers.
New
Oh.
one. Oh, and then you said what's up. Hey, how's it going? Zup had a good question.
Hi.
What do you guys think will be the next movie gaming trend?
I'm going with Zufu on this one. Superhero movies and games are going to carry us.
I
for
think that's
quite
the
some
current
time.
one, though.
It is, but
What do you think the
Well,
next
the
one's
problem
gonna
is they're going to lose steam fast because the superhero games that have been launched, unless they can come up with something truly genre breaking and change everything that's come before, the superhero games have been really relegated into the realms of
Street Fighters.
well,
No, seriously, Street Fighters. It's either Street Fighters or it's I played one on my Android for about a day, where you tapped right side of the screen for a light attack, you swiped for a medium attack, and then you held and released for a heavy attack, and then you chose which of your Marvel guys that you randomly got from a machine, and you fought people through a path, and no.
Zupa, that's a good question. I don't know. I can't. I mean, nobody can possibly predict, but I can't think of what could possibly be like the next thing.
I can't either.
Rom-com video games.
Rom-com video. Okay.
The Japanese have been on that
Sure,
for
why not?
years already.
Well, it's time we jump on
Dating
it.
games are exceptionally popular.
Yeah.
Imagine The Wedding Planner.
And dating animal games are pretty popular too.
There are, I want to say it's the otome genre. There are a crap ton of dating games.
Yeah.
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 Zufo, you mentioned box office records, and I do have a box office prediction, though. I think that currently it's Jurassic World, but actually I think the worldwide box office is still Avatar, which is a fucking travesty. That movie blows.
What?
But
It's
it's
a magical
such a
fun
good
movie.
so hard.
That was that was just a fantastic.
It was
Magical
Dancing
Blue
with
Tiger
Wolves
magical,
in Space.
absolutely.
But opening weekend, I
Dances
think.
with Wolves is a great movie.
Dancing with Smurfs in space.
I think.
I loved it. You guys are crazy.
No, graphically,
yeah,
it was
Pigeon Dating
beautiful,
Sim,
but it was a
Hatoful
little-
Boyfriend, Creeper Killers mentions with pancakes. But the current record, I think, for opening weekend in the U.S. is Jurassic World, I believe. I believe that's going to remain in place. I don't think Batman Superman is going to beat it, but I think that
I'm wondering if Star Wars.
I think
might
Star
be
Wars
close.
is going
I think
to.
Star Wars is going to be.
I think Star Wars is going to beat it, and then I think Star Wars Episode 7 is going to hold the record until the eventual Marvel DC crossover. And then I think that is going to break the record.
I think once they make the Marvel DC crossover and the cinematic universe says, that's going to be when I know that the genre is really jumped the
I think that will be will be done.
I think it's truly pitiful that Jurassic Park is leading.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic
World.
World. I mean,
We do not
Hey,
equate the two.
Go back,
No.
go back and watch our Jurassic World podcast because we tore the shit out of that
good.
movie.
It deserved to be.
We
torn.
ripped it in half.
I kind of
fucking
defended it a
awful
little
movie.
bit,
Okay.
but
Well,
yeah, it's
I
still
do
a
have
bad
one
movie.
question for the group.
Yeah,
if we're
listening.
going back to horror and
Go.
scary stuff. So zombies. Technically, there are essentially three kinds that exist. One you almost never see, which is going to be the traditional voodoo type zombie.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then you have the shamblers, the slow zombies.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then you have the more recent
The Rangers.
fast
Call 'em
zombies.
ragers.
The
The
Rangers.
rage
Yeah.
zombies. The berserk zombies that will come and
Well,
eat your face.
Yeah.
The one thing about that though, because I'm assuming you're pulling that from the 28 days and 28
yeah.
weeks.
Fantastic.
Technically, if you want to
Yeah.
go all
Now,
the way back to
28
Romero's first film, some of his zombies did occasionally run.
No, actually, they didn't. In the first three zombie films, they did not run. However, they did use tools.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they operated together.
There's a Resident Evil book, and
CrossFit zombies.
I'm gonna tell you guys, if you can tell me I'm gonna have it. But if someone knows this, because no one's gonna know this, you're gonna win the giveaway instantly, and I'll tell you what's in it. If you can tell me the name of this book, it was a book, a Resident Evil book, in which the zombies used guns.
What?
You know
And-
what? Zombies use
and if you
guns
know-
in Dead Rising.
If
all
you
right?
know the name of that, then just throw it up right now, because then you win. You win the Resident Evil giveaway package, and I will tell you what all's in that. But and pretty soon we're gonna actually do the actual proper. We'll have it sort of like with
Chuck
Assassin's Creed,
came with the weapons, unfortunately.
like we did with Assassin's Creed. We'll have a trivia question, and I'll show you in just a minute as soon as they're done with their zombie thing. I'll show you what we're gonna give away.
So how do you guys feel about
Yeah, you
fast
can Zupo.
zombies?
You can Google. Yeah, just whatever. Whoever cares enough to want to try to win this thing is gonna is gonna win.
Did you say fast zombies?
How do you feel about fast zombies?
Horrifying.
Oh,
Well, yes.
Because I think all of our fantasies of, ooh, I would actually fucking love
I would love
zombie
zombie
apocalypse,
apocalypse.
because I'd just be like, it'd be really cool. That would be cool if they were like dumb fucking.
Yeah.
Well, they
but if
probably
they were
would be dumb.
sprinting at you, you'd be like, oh
Well,
shit.
Here's
All right, go with me on
the
this one,
subject
Fox.
of sprinting. In the first, and I bring it up because we spoke about the book at the beginning, and,
Yeah.
and we actually chose to do a mixture of both. We have both the shamblers and the sprinters.
The sprinters.
So the more recently turned, they're going to be the most terrifying thing on the fucking planet, because
Yeah,
they're
they're
going to be fast. They're not going to be quite as clumsy, and they don't have to worry about endurance.
yeah.
Zombieland.
You
I'm gonna
do.
win with that.
Yeah. Now the thing is, and we actually did put a little bit of medical research into this. Right about the time rigor mortis sets in, right about that 18-hour mark,
Yeah.
that's when you're going to start seeing the herky jerky, marionette zombie moving around.
So yeah, and I think that is one that really terrifies me. Is a slow moving zombie that doesn't. It's not just like walking like a drunk person, but think more like Silent Hill, where like maybe they have a spasm or something, and that weird. And that's more of like a psychological horror thing than more than just like a rotting corpse walking.
Because at that point,
But-
it turns into Silent Hill.
Yeah, and that really scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But the fast versus slow, the original Resident Evil, Zufo, Resident Evil Caliban Cove, that was the name of it. Very well done. That was awesome. I will show you what all I'm gonna mail to you in just a minute. But in the Resident Evil remake, you had regular zombies, and the sort of twist on it was that if you didn't in Resident Evil you couldn't really aim in the originals, so you just shot at zombies.
In three angles.
If zombies fell to the ground without their head being destroyed or set on fire,
Assume they're just gonna get back
As
out.
soon as you came back and loaded the screen, they would come and try to eat your face
they
again.
come back, but not just like back.
They were
They're
redheads.
now crimson heads, and so like their claws grew, and they were like more ragey, runny,
and they
slashy.
hurt more too.
And that was the scariest thing when I was in college.
All right, Fox, go with me on this. Dawn of the Dead, social commentary, right? You have shambling zombies all wandering around in a mall, and it's supposed to be commentary for consumerism.
It's consumerism, right?
Yes.
That was
Right.
the original.
Now-
That was the intent.
Take the concept of rage zombies and apply that.
So
and
we're
I
putting
think
it on
I
Wall
think
Street?
shit.
So in the
No, yeah.
same vein, you mean?
Yeah, like instead of
Like
having
aggressive consumerism?
we're talking like Black Friday.
Friday.
I don't know.
pre-release
Maybe not
long
even
lines.
aggressive. I mean,
Oh,
okay, I can see the
Take
aggressive consumerism
Yeah.
comparison,
No.
but you could also see it from a corporate expansionism
Oh,
at that
fuck.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's like I said, that's the one thing I love about the genre is you can make it a commentary on anything. I mean, the
Sure.
second book, which I'm in the process of editing, but instead of focusing on just pure survival like I did in the first one, the second one starts actually doing a lot of focusing on mental health. So I give a wide range of interactions where characters are literally breaking down in different ways.
All right. When you went,
Mike.
Mike.
Sorry, I'm
He
getting
got
really
excited.
excited now. When you went to Comic-Con in June, you were parked next to a guy. He let you borrow one of his comics. You remember this?
Yeah.
You remember the name of that comic?
No.
Because I
barely
think I've
remember the
still
name of
got
the
it
guy.
back at my house. And
'Cause-
I would love to dig it back up because this would be really perfect here. You're talking about who focusing like on the mental and emotional health
Yep.
of survivors when they get locked up. Holy shit! The survivors actually start eating themselves. They start eating each other.
Autocannibalism.
Yeah, because they're freaking out that they're never going to be able to get out of the house and they're already running out of food. So they've already jumped to the conclusion, oh, we need to start eating each other now.
Well, I didn't take it to quite that extreme, but I did do some other pretty seriously fucked up shit with some of these characters. Obviously, you're gonna have that person that decides to commit suicide. And,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I kind of touched lightly into that category. But then I've got a couple of characters that I show. I mean, they just truly go diving off the deep end.
Sure.
That was not exactly deep ending, but that was part of the reason why I loved Shane so much in The Walking Dead was because he was the counter to Rick, which was they both had what they thought were the group's best interests at heart, and Shane was just the like no nonsense, like we're gonna keep everybody safe, even if we have to kill people that stumble across us on accident, so they don't alert others to where we are.
And oh, by the way, I'm gonna fuck your wife.
Yeah.
And
And by the way, I'm a big piece of shit. So.
and that he was also very selfish. But but that was what was great to me. And so when they lost Shane is when they sort of lost me. But in terms of Resident Evil, the zombies in RE4, the quote unquote zombies in Resident Evil 4 used weapons. That's true. And actually in Resident Evil 6, the Leon Helena story. I don't know if any of you guys played Resident Evil 6 at all. Pretty universally panned.
I played the first one, and then I've recently, like in the last 3 years, played Revelations, and oh my god, what a shit-tastic game that was.
The Revelations or Revelations 2?
Revelations.
Okay. The one that was originally on 3DS.
Looks like a gun.
Yeah,
then-
I mean the thing looked like, played like, and was written like it was a fucking Spanish soap opera. It was terrible.
I can't defend Revelations. I will defend Revelations 2 a little bit because the way that they did their story is they had two pair. They had Claire and some
That
girl,
sweet ass.
and they
No, she died.
they would go through the level, and then the second half of that chapter was Barry and the sort of psychic girl that were following in their footsteps, trying to figure out what happened to them. So you'd play through what happened, and then you would play through the character piecing together what happened.
Okay, now that's actually almost an interesting concept. That might almost be worth making the attempt to pick that one up.
It's not super deep. I don't want to oversell it, but it's like it's fun. and it's a fun
But like
game.
I said, it's an interesting concept on the gameplay. Whereas the first one, oh god, that game was just bad. No, I mean
yes.
seriously, some of the lines of dialogue in this game where you're looking at what is clearly the outline of a gun, and I got something. I think it's a gun.
It might be a gun.
Detective.
So
I mean, come on.
the World War Z book, the book, not the movie,
Okay, the book.
was about the post apocalypse, right? Like it was done.
Well, it was done and it wasn't because it was actually kind of a little bit of before, a little bit of during, and a lot of after.
Okay.
Mostly it was people reflecting upon
What happened?
what had happened. So I mean,
Okay.
you had like the guy that survived the battle in New York, and he was
Right.
writing about that battle
Had the chick who got crash landed like somewhere around Louisiana.
and like started walking. Yeah, but they were telling it from the okay, here's what I did to survive, and here's where I fucked up, and here's where it could have gone really bad for me.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
Real quick, Creeper Killers, thanks for following us. We appreciate it. Everybody else, if you haven't yet, if you're watching, please follow us. And if you have already followed us, then please share us with somebody. That would be fantastic.
Also,
Look,
Creeper
Sharks,
Killers,
thank
thanks for the props on the headset.
you. Yeah.
This one's the one you want to
Their
talk
Sharks
to.
headset, yeah.
Yeah,
The
Game
Pikachu.
Guy. I wanted to comment on Game Guy's talk of a zombie game in medieval times.
Okay.
That would be fucking awesome.
You're
Can
you're
we
talking
have
about
like a Merlin in there that does magic?
like a sword swinging.
Morgan
Yeah.
Le Fay is the one that's creating them.
Yeah,
She's
like
the
a
necromancer.
sword, like a sword. Exactly. Like imagine because you look at those times and you see all the knights getting together with their swords and everything, and they're like, we're fighting the armies of the dead. Like, I mean, it would just be fucking intense.
God is on our side.
Yeah, and I mean, it would just be so rad.
That would be really interesting because then it would be twice as difficult
Yeah.
for the zombies to attempt to eat them because they're
They're all
covered in
wearing
plate
armor.
mail.
Armor, yeah.
Well, not all of them, just the ones that can afford it.
Yeah,
So you can
everybody
still,
else is
you can
just
still
kinda
use it
wearing
as social
cloth and,
commentary.
Hey,
Here's the
help,
gap
I'm
between
being
the
oppressed.
peasantry and the nobility.
Yeah.
Seem familiar?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
still get away with the social commentary.
And
This is so
you
cool.
You could do a medieval income inequality zombie game.
I think it would be really, really cool. And
I
it would, and it
think
would be
at
a
that point
kind of
you
a
would
new
actually
take on it.
have the peasants overthrow everything because the rich people would be stuck in their castles but have no more food.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
You know,
Well,
because
no,
I-
actually,
at that
they
point,
would
because
still
Mask
have
of the Red
food,
Death.
'cause,
Yeah.
Well, they would eventually run out.
because
Game Guy says Samurai Warriors, like a hack and slash kind of type of thing.
exactly.
So
Zufo
lollipop
throwing
chainsaw.
money at the screen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm so dude.
So you don't want it to? Do you want it to be sort of that historical zombie thing, or do you want it to be like magic and swords, like a fantasy?
I
a
want it
little
to
bit of both.
a little bit of both. Yeah,
I could go
honestly.
either way.
because
I really could.
I think back then they believed in the magic.
yeah.
You know, they believed in it, and
the
so I
power
think
of
Now,
Oh,
what
shit.
would be,
Guys,
what would be hilarious
guys.
is the guy's like, I'm gonna cast a spell. I'm gonna cast a spell. Oh shit, I'm being eaten because it's not working.
Guys, I got it. It's a ghosts and goblins movie.
pretty much.
It's super ghouls and
Sorta,
ghosts
yeah.
on the big screen.
Well,
It's perfect.
Yeah. So we're going to have to wind this down. Let me show Zufo real quick while he's getting the
Zombie dragons.
first thing is this is a Resident Evil 5 towel, and it is
that a beach towel?
It is a beach towel.
You can rub it on your butt.
You can, and I think it's got scent of chuck nut on it. I'm just kidding. I watched it. I watched it. I'm
Jesus.
kidding. There are Resident Evil lithographs. Ada, Leon, and from 5, Chris and Sheva.
Shiny.
There is this little antivirus water drinky thingy doodad.
You
Okay,
could
hey,
put
I think
vodka
I need
in
one
it.
of those.
There is
Oh, it has a compass on the carabiner too.
these little. I know it's probably hard to see them, but these little Leon and Ada
You
figures
lucky son of a bitch, you're getting Ada.
right here. And finally, for the Resident Evil fan that has everything, a Stars dog tag. And yeah, I know that's hard to see, 'cause it's little. But I'm gonna mail this shit to you. What I need you to do, Zufo, is I need you to email me at
But wait.
angrycuddles@gmail.com.
There's more.
Act now.
Much more.
I'm gonna put it in here. At gmail.com. Yeah. I think I spelled that right. It's angrycuddles@gmail.com. Email me your mailing address or PO box or whatever you're comfortable, but I have to send this shit to you. And don't worry, I'm not gonna send you dick pics or anything unless you ask for them. And
So is that easy?
And I will say, yeah, that's all it takes.
Can I
is
get
a
a picture of
request.
Steven's
Steve,
dick?
can I get a picture of your dick?
Yeah, I've already got one loaded up and ready to go. I was hoping you would ask
Just
me.
press send.
The next first Monday in November is going to be items from us, things that we have created. So you're going to get a copy of Monsters and Miracles, the graphic novel that I wrote with Joseph, who illustrates the webcomic. You're going to get.
You don't have to buy dinner for dick pics.
No, I think like.
You just have to download Snapchat.
Right. Or Periscope. Does Periscope have terms of service that disallows like nips or dick nips?
I don't know yet.
We'll figure that out real quick.
I don't have to ask for that stuff.
But from Will, you're going to get this next month's giveaway a special edition.
Yeah.
Is that what you referred to it as?
Special edition
of their Moonlight Native CD, and that shit is good. It's on repeat in my car, and I'm not just saying that because Will's on the podcast.
Yo, one of my
legit.
discs is damaged.
I heard. Yeah, we're getting you a new one.
Fuck.
Okay, cool.
Close.
Yeah, it's weird. They burned a hole in it.
Shark
What?
is
Yeah.
What?
Oh.
Shark is making a thing.
Crystal told me.
I will figure out something to make for you guys.
And
or
Chuck,
draw.
we will either get like a picture of Chuck and he'll sign it, or we'll have him like write something. I'll get one of his short stories. We'll find something.
Just
Chuck's
have
some
Chuck spreading his butt, and it's just that picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
From east to west.
I think we need to do the fireplace Chuck-a-chew headphones pick.
Yeah,
agree.
we could do that.
We just need
I
to
think
find
that
an
would be
active
pretty epic.
fireplace.
We
Yeah,
we can fake one.
We can do that.
Photoshop is a thing.
What I want to end with is last week someone mentioned and I think I've determined the capabilities of my PC. I can play downloaded videos, but I can't stream while I'm streaming. You know what I mean? So what we're gonna do? Chuck goes. See,
Yeah.
you guys spoil me.
Spoil me. Dude, I read that and I was like dying.
I love you.
Good job. Good job, Zuko. But we talked about the Assassin's Creed story trailer last week, and I didn't get to pull it up because I can't stream while I'm streaming, but I downloaded it, and so now we can watch it all
cool.
together.
Let's do it.
Ooh.
So we're going to get a little Inception while I bring up my PC.
We have to go deeper.
Here we go. And
Actually, I probably shouldn't say that in light of Chuck Goatsy.
I know,
so
man.
sorry.
anyway,
In
let
the
me make
fallout
sure
of Chuck Goatsy.
this isn't going to blast you guys
I've
out.
seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
And here we go.
I don't have tentacles.
Yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want the gun.
Ooh, I want it. I want to lick it.
Mr. Starrick, I
Jesus.
told you not to disturb me!
That's what it sounds like.
Well,
What have we here?
Crawford Starrick's full organisation.
Yeah,
7
game guy, I know.
henchmen,
Yeah,
each
he's
controlling
real
the
bad.
pillars of London society. Rupert Ferris regulates the
Oh
industries
my
with a
god,
steel
look at all
rod and an
the
iron
nifty
fist.
vests and stuff people
Get the
wearing.
machine fixed!
Pearl Attaway owns all transportation in London, the ebb and flow of the city's traffic at her fingertips. David Brewster and Dr. Elliotson push science and medicine to their very limits,
Unfortunately, it appears I've ruined the organ.
with terrifying results.
Whoopsie.
Philip
negligent
Tupeny and James Rudenell
He's
cripple the
probably
masses to grow
sucking
their
up too much
fortunes.
ether.
And finally, Maxwell Rock, London's criminal mastermind.
Yeah, he doesn't live
To
nuts.
free future
my
generations
ancestor.
from a city ruled
Really
by
does
Templars.
look like you though.
Shall we?
Yes,
Okay, so then we can load you up into the
hang
game
on,
and you
are
can
those the
replace
same
me.
two
we will
characters
free London
from,
from Starrick.
We take over
From
Starrick's
Unity?
gangs.
No,
We replace control.
Same engine from Unity, but two new characters.
Yeah, they just look almost identical to the music from
Well, humans have a tendency to look very similar.
Oh, you're playable as female for the
Would you
first time in
distinguish the
a
Roth weapons?
actual
No,
console
thank you.
Unity. Or,
I've got my
sorry,
own.
it sounds.
I do love the key.
there is a little bit of a buddy comedy aspect to it in the previews that I've
He
read.
believes he can solve all the world's woes with a flick of a blade.
Okay, when's this coming out?
We're not playing games
So we can start making sure that there's money and time off from work.
It's gonna be
Into a conflict, boy.
As usual.
Here, it's so pretty.
You know what? That's what I said about
I
Black
love these
Flag.
costumes.
It
Dude,
ended
Black
so
Flag was
poorly.
And then we're finished.
Black Flag was great just running around.
Oh yeah,
Actual
I got-
game,
on the
I
boat.
just got around
Don't
and
die.
played around on the boat.
Yep.
I'm on a boat.
I don't think people sing pirate shanties. Fuck you.
Oh,
Oh my god.
we seem to have made an unscheduled stop.
I gotta say though,
Whoopsie.
this Assassin's Creed looks,
October
looks a
23rd.
lot more
Really?
story oriented than
Wait.
Okay,
just
you
go
know, I'm
kill somebody.
probably
over and over
gonna
again.
have a serious budget problem in the near future.
So, and I've mentioned this before.
Can you call
I-
me whenever you play?
I liked Black Flag. I liked 4,
Maybe.
but it didn't feel Assassin's Creed to me. It just felt like a pirate game, and that's what apparently most people wanted, but not me. And I really did, and I totally get everybody's, unfortunate everything about Unity. I understand it, but Unity is probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game,
See,
and I loved it.
You've
I
never,
loved Unity.
Yeah, I
Unity
did too.
was great, but Black Flag was great just because it was not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and Game Guy, it looks to be an actual Assassin's Creed game. The 2 leads, Evie Fry and her brother, I can't remember his name. Desmond's
Something
done.
Fry.
They barely come to the present time.
I was
At
gonna say
all
they didn't
anymore.
even touch present time in Unity.
In Unity, they're like, hey, gamer, you're the gamer, and you're the gamer that's playing the game that we're about to play, and so you're playing you essentially, because
And
they
then
come
they
in
just
and
kind of left it
and then
alone.
they leave.
So
Which
you,
was great.
You.
You're
that's an
playing- you
that's an Inception level game.
What's the
It got really Inception-y in Black Flag.
how's that for
Because you're
fucking immersion? You're playing you, bitch.
See, now Black Flag did
I don't
get
wanna
really
play me,
Inception-y
though.
because you were playing you as a double agent.
Yeah, Black Flag did kind of do that because you
And
walked
then-
around in first person at the very
And then
least.
you were beta testing essentially. You were
Yeah.
You were
bug testing
beta
Assassin's
testing
Creed
the
4.
system.
But in Unity, you don't even control another character. You are just you, and the
I don't
person
like that
directly talks to you in the game.
But see, all that.
Don't like it.
But nothing to me will ever compare to the first time that Ezio addressed Desmond.
Oh,
That
you know what?
gave me like
That was
chills.
pretty-
I was
pretty
like,
tight.
No,
oh,
it was
shit.
it was in I believe it was in 2, but I don't think maybe I'm remembering wrong or a different scene. But it was the precursor or forerunner or whatever they call him in that game, who turns to you, to the camera,
Yeah.
and Ezio's like, "Who are you talking to?" And she turns to you, / Desmond, and starts addressing him directly. And I was like, oh, I'm so fucking excited and
Yeah.
scared.
It was cool, man. It was really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Okay.
Well, because I want to say it was at the end of maybe Revelations
Yeah.
that Ezio actually has a conversation with Desmond.
Oh yeah. I think that's right.
And he
I think you're right.
just hearing him say Desmond, and he says his name or something.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody.
Revelations is the one where Desmond kills his friend, right?
No.
No.
Was that the end
That
of Brotherhood?
That was the end of. I think that was the end of Brotherhood.
It was either Brotherhood or Revelations where Desmond's not in control of himself,
Right,
and he
right.
murders her.
Yeah. But yeah, that shit got me going because Ezio, he's just the best goddamn character. He was just this ladies' man, Italian son of a bitch.
And then he just keeps getting
Saucier?
more
cooler and saucier. Yeah.
I
With age.
I didn't see it.
So much sauce.
You didn't see it?
Right
He
there in
became-
Revelation when he was dealing with Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but they hardly ever put him in a position where he would do something like
Well, see, he was older.
It's not that he's in a position to do it. It's that he could do it. He just chooses not to.
Yeah, he was way too busy with other shit, and he commented on that a lot. Is how much he adored her, and he was like, "But I don't have time with all of the things
Yeah.
that I'm doing."
Yeah. And Arno was sort of the opposite in Unity. He was like, I don't really give a shit about any of the shit. I just want
I just want
you.
him dead.
Yeah.
But okay, well, thanks guys for joining us for the zombie stuff today. I don't exactly know. Next week, my attempt next week is to get Mike to come. Mike, who used to be on the podcast, to come talk to us about villains next week. But we may postpone that if we can't get Mike, and we may talk about something else. But there may not be a couch co-op on Friday, and if we do a couch co-op on Friday, it may be a different game, or I might see if Chuck's available to start up Mass Effect or something. Maybe.
Yes.
We'll see. I don't know that we're going to have one for sure. But check out Robert Fox's book. Shark just put the link in the chat. It's on Amazon. What's the name of the book so that people listening can go search for it?
Dead Come Home.
Was that an echo or?
No, he just said it.
Oh, he had to check.
Because I remember the name of the book.
Dead Come Home. Yes,
Dead
but I was
Come
giving
Home.
him the
It's
opportunity
also
to plug his
listed in
thing.
the link.
Yeah. Dead Come Home. Go check it out. For Shark, if you want to check out Shark's stuff, she's going to post it in the chat. And you're going to want to go to hedgiehates.com and check out her webcomic about her hedgehog, Boo.
She
Who's
hates
Hates
everything.
everything.
beautiful.
Including
there it
you.
is. There's the link. If you want to go to Will, and everybody wants to go to Will, go to @WillRothMusic on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can also go to moonlightnative.com.
Yeah. I'm about to post also a link to my Guitar Center contest.
Yeah. How's it going, by the way?
I'm on the second page. I'm almost on the first page, and
Get him there.
yeah, get me there.
Get him there.
All you
guys.
got to do is go watch the videos. That's it.
That's it. And you will not regret watching the videos. I'll tell you that right now.
Because they're good.
If you want to follow Chuck on Twitch, you can follow Byronic Commando. You can click on his name right now in the chat and just go straight to his page and follow him there. It's going to be a while before he twitches again, so don't get too excited, but he does every now and then pop up. If you want to check out our stuff, we are Angry Cuddles. I want you to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. The reason you're going to want to like us on Facebook is because when we give away a brand new copy of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain on Xbox One in December, you're going to need to go to our Facebook to win it. So we're going to launch the contest on our Twitch channel for you guys, but it's going to take place on the Facebook. So go there and like us there.
Also, remember, we do have our Steam group, so you can always
Yeah.
come say hi to us on there.
Yeah. Say hi to Chuck.
And we'll figure out how to
When he's
use
never on
that
there.
Steam group at some point.
I can't be on there.
Well,
I
I'll
miss
get-
my
I'll
Steam
get a
account.
I'll get a better streaming PC, and you can have that laptop right there, Chuck.
Thank you.
We'll figure out something. But also, it's really, 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 really important that you go check out our webcomic at angrycuddles.com that I work with Joseph on.
The guy
we're
from last week.
Yep, last week. We're going to be at
Dallas Comic-Con.
Dallas Comic-Con, October 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Irving Convention Center. And we have stuff like this. And you can buy these in our store online right now. This is our shirt, an Angry Cuddles shirt. And you can sport our You'll Like Me When I'm Angry little guy. See? Okay. Go check it out. That's a 15.
Try not to yank the mic cables.
Yeah, it got
Oh,
caught.
thanks, creepy killer.
Thank you. Thank you, Creepy.
You guys are the best people I've ever seen.
You can see us again on Monday next week.
We'll be back next Monday at 9, and you should be. I'm going to stream a couple of weird, awkward times this week, so just follow us, and you'll know when we go online. Jonathan and I are going to do some Unity co-op, speaking of Assassin's Creed, and then maybe Chuck and I may try and work out something on Friday. And if we do Fridays, then Fridays is going to be a Mass Effect stream, and you guys will help us make decisions as we play through.
Chuck's asleep right now.
Well,
I thought Mass Effect.
Game
would
Guy
wake
is
you
over
up.
here saying you can get Steam on your phone. Yeah, you can get Steam on your phone. That doesn't necessarily mean you can play the damn games on your phone.
Wah.
So I need a real computer now that I have a real phone. Because as you can see, I have Steam on it right now. I've even pulled up the Risk of Rain and the things that I have done with it already. So neener, Game Guy.
Neener, got you by the wiener.
And then you
As
have
your
a
ears
porn.
wiggle.
I want to thank Robert for joining us, Mr. Fox for joining us today, and
Mr.
it was
Lucius
a lot of fun.
Fox.
Thank you for taking time out of your schedule.
Thanks,
No
Fox.
The
problem. Thanks for
fantastic
having me out
Mr. Fox.
We'll see you guys next time. My name is Steven.
My name is Chuck.
My name
Fuck is wrong with you?
My name Will.
I'm Shark.
And I'm Fox.
And we'll see you guys next time. Adios.